A very good evening and thank you all for joining us today to our discussion on physical classes versus online classes in Malaysia. My name is Zaid Farhan Yaiz and I am the moderator for this forum. In this forum, we will try to bring together all the important issues of these two types of classes. Before we start, let me introduce to you our panelists for this evening. Our first speaker is Amir Izzat bin Muhammad Tamat, NYDP Student Representative Council MPP Melaka, and he will be talking about the communication and physical and mental health issues. He will be giving us his view on the positive impact of physical classes. The next speaker is Muhammad Aizat Izwan Zulkafli, NYDP Student Representative Council MPP Arau. Next, we will listen to Professor Muhammad Arif bin Wardi, Senior Lecturer Department of English in UiTM. He will be talking about the stress management, soft skill development, and the classroom instruction of physical classes. Next speaker is from the Deputy Director of Malaysian Higher Education Cooperative, Tan Sri Muhammad Iqbal bin Rosli, and he will be sharing his point of view on the positive impact of online classes. Our last speaker for today is Dr. Muhammad Aiman. He is a Deputy Director of Student Affairs UiTM Arau, and he will be talking about the exam preparation and the students' focus. So without wasting any more time, I will turn it over to Amir Izzat to start his deliberation on the physical classes versus online classes. Take it away.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zaim, for inviting me for this discussion. Discussion is important for us to achieve a better planning. Yes. So for among the benefit of physical class is I see that it has undisrupted the communication. Learning is a progress for someone to be more knowledgeable in order to learn effectively. The student need to be more focused and concentrate. When in physical class, we can concentrate and focus better. There is no interference and the environment there was created and designed for learning rather than online class. We are not in a good surrounding for learning, which have a lot of potential of interference such as poor internet connection, unspotted devices, and noisy environment. In addition, pandemic of COVID-19 caused many sectors to close and work from home. So, the more family members is in the house, the noisier it will be. In physical class, we just have to attend the class, listen to the lecture of our lecturer, and finish the class, prepare for the next activity. However, when doing online class at house, we might disrupted with a lot of house chores, then that makes our schedule unorganized. Based on a research finding, statistic from survey by Hospital Sungai Buloh shows that most students got a result of several distress in their survey, which shows online class is not favored by students. So, undisrupted communication is one advantage that can be overcome when having physical class. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amir Izzat, for your input. And now let's hear from Professor Arif Wadi to explain more about physical class. Is it true that stress management is much more better when in physical class? Prof, take it away.
All right. Thank you to our moderator, Mr. Zaim Farhan. Yes, indeed. Stress management is much more better when we are in physical class. Having class and lots of assignment and tasks is challenging for the most of students. It affects a lot to their mental health. However, the online class give more bad impact on students' mental health, even though the physical class is already stressful. The pandemic causes the people across the globe, including the students, isolated and restricted from any social activities. Before this, the students tend to socialize with friends or their beloved in order to cope with stress level during physical class. However, the online class has closed all the ways to communicate and socialize face to face. Nevertheless, sudden transition in this learning method have give toll to their mental health. The student was forced to adapt new normal in these online classes, and it has been so stressful for most of the students. That's all.
Thank you, Professor, for your opinion. And now we are back to Mr. Ameh. Since you are also a student yourself, would you like to explain more on the positive impact of having physical class?
Yes, I'm a student myself. One of the benefit for physical class is it is easy to make discussion. As you know that I have a title in secretary, or we call that as student representative council, and I realized that my surrounding is not very good for discussion. Um, for my uh, for my discussion. So physical is easier for students to make discussion because we meet every individual in person or face to face. We can just ask the unclear information directly to them, whether it is our friend or our lecturer. We also have more option to find useful information, such as in library or discussion session with anyone. Opinion of every individual can be voiced out easier than in online class, especially to set a proper time to do a lot of activity of each schedule. Some of our friends busy at certain time and free at certain time. Based on observation, many students voice out on social media such as Twitter, which they say that, that they are very tired and stressed toward online class. So to, co- to conclude, it is easier for us to learn new things and make discussion when having physical class. That is my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mezat. Yes, I think physical class is more easier to discuss among each other because it is directly face to face. So I agree with your opinion. But now let's hear from Tan Sri Muhammad Iqbal on his opinion regarding the online classes. Tan Sri?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zakai, as our moderator today. I am honored to be given the chance to participate in this forum and give my opinion regarding the online class. Okay, as we know, ODL offer the learner the opportunity to study at own pace. Learner have the opportunity to learn at any time, from anywhere at their own pace. Okay, according to the Hagati 2006, students report benefit of using learning technology such as the ability to learn at their own pace, to learn independently, and to have fun with the help of technology for online teaching and learning. The material can now be accessed from computer or from mobile device. So this has created more opportunity for the learner. That's my opinion.
Alright, thank you, Tan Sri, for your view on online classes. And now we know that online classes is not all bad, and it also have its advantages. Now we would like to hear from Dr. Aiman. Is it true that physical class will help students to be more focused during classes, and will it also help for students to do preparation for their exam? Doctor?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zain Farhan, for inviting me to this forum discussion. So it's true that physics class will help students to focus more and will also help students for exam preparation. I think the answer is yes, because students in the city who have access to a variety of resources will be far ahead of rural students who may or may not be able to follow online learning correctly or at all. For example, stories for students in Sabah and Sarawak who had to spend the night in the jungle to face the final exam. So due to a variety of factors, teacher had to realize that not all students will be able to attend lesson online. Besides, not everyone can afford to have the gadget to take classes held online. In addition, land problems are also one of the causes of students not being able to follow the class smoothly and well. So as a result, students do not get the knowledge imparted by the teacher perfectly, and much like other students, have no problems on the issue. There are also students that fall behind their classmates because they are unable to concentrate in class due to a poor connection. If the learning is conducted by physical classes, of course, there is no need to use gadgets or no need for use for high internet usage. So it is easier for students to focus if the learning sessions are done in the classroom. Now for the exam preparation. As we know, major exams are important to determine the future of students to the point of requiring teacher guidance. So students must be well prepared to take the exam because students may not be able to answer the exam properly if they do not prepare. Students can acquire all of the knowledge taught by the teacher more quickly if the class is held face to face, and what is taught by the teacher will be easier to understand because when learning sessions are done by face to face in a classroom, students are more engaged. In my opinion, the Ministry of Education has to come up with a plan to allow students to take the exam in this pandemic COVID-19 by reducing the exam grade because students who will be taking examination during the pandemic may not be appropriately prepared to deal with it. So thank you.
Alright, thank you, Doctor, for sharing your opinion regarding the exam preparation and the focus of the student when attending physical classes. And now we are back to Tan Sri. We do know that online class definitely involve in technology. Do you think that online class promotes interaction?
I think yes, because technology offer the opportunity to promote interaction between learner and lecturer as well as we expert in ODL. One of the research show that interaction can increase learning and lessen the psychological distance involved in ODL. Similarly, interaction can help in achieving the learning outcome and thus ensure successful learning. Interaction can be facilitated in ODL through effective uses of technology. The use of interactive technology with the affordance of two-way communication and, multiple representation may provide more interaction for online learner and thus lead to enhanced learning outcome. So, interaction in turn can promote students' motivation and can enhance the whole learning process. According to Espasa and Menses 2010, based on my study, online course with high level of interactivity lead to higher level of student motivation, improve learning outcome, and satisfaction over less interactive learning environment. An increasing body of literature show that learners learn best when they are actively engaged with the curriculum and content. Okay, as we can see, the result are learner with higher level of motivation and engagement. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I want to interrupting, but I have to disagree with Tan Sri because, in my opinion, interaction may take place in an online class, but still the communication will be more effective if the class is held physically. This is because of not many students participate in online classes. There are also students who just enter online classes, but they are not present at the moment as they are doing something else. The teacher cannot find out if the student who joined the class are still attending the class that are being held. If the class is physically, teacher and student will communicate easier and clearer because of the communication between student and teacher are directly face to face.
Alright, thank you, Tan Sri, for your insight. With technology becoming part of our daily life, sure do online classes will promote interaction between students and teachers. But based on what Dr. Aiman said, we can see sure we can see surely depend on the attitude of an individual, either they wanted to attend the class or not. So now we would like to hear from Mr. Aizat. Do you want to add any opinion regarding the online classes?
Yes, good evening to the moderator, panelists, and to all the audience here today. Thank you for having me in this lovely forum today. Okay, online distance learning maybe have some flaw with it, but there are still a lot of benefit by online class. Before this, by physical class, we will use a lot of energy to go to class, to eat, and etc. But by online class, it gives students some time for their own. They don't have to use a lot of energy to go to class or to dress up, because they just need to open the laptop or phone, no matter where they are, and it's so easy to access. Furthermore, by online class also gives students more private space. For the women, they don't have to put an effort with their makeup. They can only put their comfortable clothes and ready to start the class. So thank you, that's all.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Aizat Izwan, for sharing your opinion on online classes. So now we are going back to you, Mr. Ameh. As a student, what do you think about the physical and mental health when we attend physical class? Can you elaborate more regarding that?
Yes. So one of the benefit of physical class is physical and mental health is well taken care. We, as a student, involved in a lot of activities while having physical class, such as exercising, walking, communicating, or attending an event. Every act that we do will affect our mind and body. It is undeniable that study can cause a lot of stress due to a lot of thinking. However, the option for us to overcome our stress is more than having online class. Due to limited activities that can be done, we tend to keep the stress in our body and not letting it out. When that happens, we become hard to concentrate or struggle on certain topic, and our mind will work hard to understand certain things. Based on the research findings and evidence of critical stress already caused two students of UiTM Kedah and Jengke respectively died due to overstress and affects their blood vessels, which then caused death. So it is very true to say that physical class is better than online class in terms of physical and mental health. That is my opinion. Thank you.
Sorry, can I interrupt?
Yes.
Yes, I agree with the statement by Mr. Ameh, but we cannot take that as the major reason. If we use the time that we have while having online class, we have lot of time to do exercise. We have lot of free time, energy, as we know. Physical class can be, can also be so tired. We have to walk to the class when there is another class. After the first class, we have to rushing, and this also can cause serious damage for our physical and mental health. So that also can be a reason of why the cases can occur. Not that I'm saying based on the case what happened for our two friends in UATM, but I'm not saying the online class is perfect. But with restructure the system, we can ensure the good use of online class and we can see its benefits. Thank you.
So I see the points given by our two panelists is clearer. It is good. I see. Thank you for the point of view from both of you, Mr. Ahmed and Mr. Isaac. It is true that physical mental health need to be taken seriously. Again, also by hearing the thoughts from Mr. Isaac, it also depends of an individual if they can manage their time properly or not, or in other case if their mental is strong enough to endure the challenge on their classes and in their daily life. So Professor Arif, would you like to add something? It seems like you are eager to say something. Take it away.
Yes, I would like to add something on physical classes. As for me, I think physical class will improve students' soft skill way more better. As we all know, face-to-face learning is a really effective way to learn knowledge and skills because it often combines different ways of learning, including writing, reading, discussion, presentation, projects, group work, film clips, demonstration, and practice. As example, when the student needed to make a face-to-face presentation, they can train themselves to talk confidently in front of the audience. This physical class indirectly enhance the students to overcome their anxious to talk in front of crowd. We have the opportunity to connect with, problem solve, and network with other students from a wide range of backgrounds. This scenario gives the chance for the students to having discussions and socialize with themselves, especially for introvert students. Other than that, traditional classroom teaching provides real-time face-to-face interaction and sparks innovative question. It also allows for immediate teacher response and more flexible content delivery. Online online instruction dampens the learning process because students must limit their question to blurbs, then grant the teacher and fellow classmates time to respond. Over time, however, online teaching will probably improve, enhancing classroom dynamics and bringing students face to face with their peers or instructors. However, for now, face to face interaction provides dynamic learning attributes not found in web based teaching. We can gain greater understanding, stories, and real world examples from teachers and other students face to face. That's all from me. Thank you.
Sorry, moderator. For that, I would like to agree with the content that Professor Arif just said that the physical class enhance students' soft skills. Yes, I agree with the statement by Dr. Arif that physical class enhance students' soft skill. Like Dr. Arif said, it helps students to learn knowledge and skill involving writing, reading, discussion, and many more. I cannot deny that face-to-face can improve their interpersonal communication indirectly more than online. Because when facing to each other, they can gain their bravery and confidence by standing directly without blocking by monitor screen or connection problem. About introvert student, I think this is the best way to cope their anxiety and start learning to talk to person directly so that they can improve their social skill in making new friends and develop their confidence when they goes to the work society.
All right, thank you to the both of you. Yes, definitely, soft skill is important, especially nowadays. Soft skill is needed when we wanted to apply for job and also to interact with people in our daily life. Okay, so before we end our session this evening, can we hear one more opinion from Mr. Isaac regarding the online classes?
Okay, yes. Based on my personal opinion, we can see that students will put more effort to study and they can learn new set of skills. As we know, the online classes maybe cannot give much knowledge to the student, but if we look in the bright way or the better perspective, this online class will make the student to put more effort to study or to understand what their lecturer teach. This is because they know that they will have lack of knowledge, but they will put more effort than before to make sure that what their lecturer teach can they get and understand, and this also will lead them to a new skill of learning in finding their own resources. Okay, based on my research that I have made according to the statistic in SPM 2020, we can see that the percentage of the result increased and have been one of the best increasing of the percentage in these past 5 years. So this has proven that the effort of the student to find some resources or reading material, regardless the subject that they take, have made them to get new skill of learning, and this will help them to improve more in the future. Okay, I think that's my opinion, and I will give back to the moderator. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Isaac. Okay, I think that's it for today's discussion. So, from today's discussion, we can conclude that both physical and online classes have their own advantages and disadvantages. In other meaning, each of the classes have their own flaws, and each of the classes has their own pros. So both of classes is good and important as both is a way of learning, just in a different vibe and situation. Some of you may prefer physical class and some of you may like online classes more. In this pandemic era, we cannot help by doing online classes. Online classes is the new norm for all of us, and we have to adjust and adapt with the new situation. I'm not saying that we do not miss attending to physical class. Yes, we do miss it because we have spent mostly of our years as student attending to physical class. Yes, as time flows, we also have to evolve and adapt to the changes that are happening around us, and hopefully we can finally get used to online classes. As the saying goes, slowly but surely. So I think that's all for today's discussion. Thank you for our panelists for joining us today, and thank you to all the viewers that have joined to our forum for today. I think we have made a great discussion on today's topic that is physical classes and online classes. So thank you again for joining us. So that's all. I wish you all the best and Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam, and
It's
thank you for
it's a
inviting
good
us.
discussion.